Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you guys having the opportunity to kind of join us today in this webinar series where we're focusing on the kind of fuel supply and logistics mastery. It's kind of optimizing the entire fuel supply chain. And today in this second session of this three-part series, we're really going to be focusing on streamlining forecasting, optimizing dispatching, and really everything in between. I'll be one of the hosts here today. I'm Brent Puzak. I'm one of the solutions consultants here at Titan Cloud. I've been in the industry a little over, actually probably 28 years so far, but on the retail side for about 25, just in various roles with some larger retails, kind of managing environmental fuel and maintenance. So certainly look forward to kind of talking to you guys today about the fuel logistics space, and let Nick introduce himself here as well.
Yeah, hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Nick Viola. I come from a very diverse background, starting off with I was in the Navy as a nuclear submarine officer. I've been in operations, supply chain, logistics, and fuel. And really my main objective is really to help companies achieve their goals, which today we're going to walk through how the state of the industry and how Titan Cloud can help you around forecasting and dispatching.
You know, from an agenda side, we're really looking at trying to give you an overview of what of Titan Cloud. We're going to just give you a really brief summary of what we do and the market that we kind of that we support. Also, kind of covering kind of the goals and objectives on the dispatch and logistics side. You know, what teams kind of and companies look at. We'll talk about industry current state. And then we'll get into kind of the dispatch and logistics side, the forecasting, inventory management, and then dive into the dispatching and logistics a bit further. We'll kind of end everything here on the value and impact that having a platform like Titan Cloud can provide, and then we'll give you guys an opportunity to work through any of the question and answer segments of this as well. Moving forward, just a little bit about Titan. Today we serve. We've been in business since 2012, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but we've really, we're really excited about where we're at currently today, because we service about 85,000 sites across various segments and markets, and we operate with about 50% of market share in North America and over 700 global clients, and our clients range from the biggest C stores like 7-Eleven. To the biggest international clients like Circle K and EG Group, and then we also have across the mid market C stores. So really, no matter what size your organization is, your company is, Titan Cloud is really purpose built to address the needs that you guys face from compliance, maintenance, and then specifically the fuel supply and logistics functionality that we'll be talking about today. Really, when you think about the problem that our customers face, we work on kind of helping those customers solve those problems, which is really around the complexity of the supply chain and operations, which really drives a lack of connectivity, visibility, and control to the assets that the team members are really responsible for managing, making sure that they're driving their fuel operations. And when you think about it from a downstream standpoint, there are really inherent risk around storing the fuel that comes with really regulations and requirements to ensure that you guys and we're protecting the public. Then there's the dispensing of the fuel that encompasses several stakeholders, from third-party vendors, customers, internal teams such as fuel maintenance and accounting. All of these teams have different but related goals and objectives, and they deal with very similar problems that they're trying to overcome to better operate their business and drive operational efficiencies, like maintenance teams trying to fix a nozzle that's been down, that's impacting kind of the throughput of a location, and ultimately the revenue that specific location is actually making. And lastly, when you think about it from an upstream operational standpoint, the supply and logistics teams around the fuel are really focused. Really, what we're focusing on within this webinar is how do you get fuel from the terminal to the storage tanks in the most profitable and executable way possible, well, while you're really dealing with the real world constraints, demand changes, allocations, fleets, carrier challenges, and really everything in between those aspects. And Nick's going to really go into the next segment of the focus areas of today's discussion.
Yeah, thanks, Brent. So our webinar series, we started off last month and going now, and we'll have another one next month. Well, it's really diving into our supply and logistics solution within our total platform. So we're focusing on how we solve these upstream problems that Brent just discussed. And so our solution starts at the terminal and really ends at the dispenser, but it also includes all the data that's required for back office management and invoicing. So really, whether you're a hauler, a carrier, a jobber, wholesaler, retailer, car rental company, construction company, logistics company, it doesn't really matter. If you utilize fuel, our solution helps you increase revenue and drive down costs. Now, the solution is broken up into 4 different modules, starting with supply management, which deals with our contract and allocation management. That's what we covered in our last webinar. And then the next module is forecasting and inventory management, where we take the product or tank consumption to create a forecast and then auto-generate orders based on a prediction. And once those orders are generated and prioritized, they go into a dispatch module where teams can dispatch to their own drivers or carriers and track in real time the status of those deliveries. And then as the supply and logistics operation is running, that data is connected and collected across our platform. So it feeds into our exception management module that then reconciles those deliveries in real time and alerts users when issues arise, such as missed deliveries, cross drops, or even wrong drops. As stated earlier, discussion today is on the forecasting and inventory management, plus fuel dispatch and logistics. And we're going to focus on how Titan Cloud helps streamline forecasting, optimize your dispatching, and as Brent said, everything in between. All right, so to kick it off, let's start at the goals and objectives of dispatching logistics. So at its core, the dispatching team is responsible for executing the fuel buying strategy set by the supply team. So these two teams are really intertwined. Supply establishes the buying strategy while dispatch ensures that the fuel gets to the right place at the right time with the right amount. So the key strategic objectives in the industry for dispatching really include maintaining wet locations, so ensuring that there's enough fuel, while keeping transportation and freight costs low. So whether that's by minimizing freight fees, reducing miles driven, or even avoiding costly delays, such as things caused by unavailable fuel at terminals. So together, these teams operate under a business or business leaders where their focus is mainly on the company's P&L and balance sheet. And it's driving 2 main objectives, net profit and working capital. If fuel inventory isn't managed efficiently, or if costs spike really, really high, both cash flow and profitability are impacted. So ultimately, the coordination between dispatching and the fuel supply teams determine whether the business can grow, invest, and ultimately thrive. So it's not just about buying and delivering fuel, but making sure every drop is delivered in the most cost-effective way possible.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the current state, what organizations might see across their current organizations, right? What we see is really the link between the fuel supply and the dispatch logistics teams are really fractured in a lot of cases. And this disconnect really starts with the technology and the processes each team currently uses. The fuel supply teams, typically manually track allocations by logging into individual supplier sites to check, lift volumes, which they then transpose into spreadsheets to manage allocations across all terminals, suppliers, and products. And when it comes to taking advantage of rack pricing, the process is also what we see is very manual. So collecting pricing data and performing calculations to determine profitability off contract can be very difficult. The dispatching team often relies on a point solution, whether it's software, an Excel sheet that isn't directly connected to the fuel supply systems or generating up-to-date forecasts to know what loads and locations need to be a priority for them. They also use kind of emails and messaging to fill kind of any gaps that might be occurring between those systems, especially when changes occur throughout the day, making real-time changes difficult and a lot of times inefficient. For instance, if you think about drivers where they need to be redirected to a new terminal, supplier, or even products due to an over-allocated contract, the communication is typically slow and inefficient. These multiple systems and manual methods create a significant limitation within and between the teams. Communication between fuel supply and dispatch is sluggish and sometimes it's inaccurate, leading to limited allocation visibility. This is particularly problematic when multiple loads are assigned to an overallocated contract because the supplier site doesn't show loads that have been dispatched but not yet lifted. Moreover, dispatch point solutions are slow to respond to changes in near real time, whether it's a spike in demand that requires fuel sooner, tracking split loads, or making large changes at once. The cause of the breakdown is achieving this strategic goals and limiting and lowering your freight cost. This disconnect between the teams often impacts the fuel throughput at a location and its impact in the technology and the process. It creates those operational inefficiencies, but also risks the strategic objectives of everyone that's kind of involved, leading to increased costs, reduced profitability, and higher working capital.
And so kind of with those limitations and the current state of the industry around this disconnectedness, let's discuss some typical inventory strategies that we've seen that are used with managing fuel inventory, whether it's carrier managed or company managed. And with each inventory strategy, they address specific challenges. So depending on your operational needs, your company or carrier may utilize different or multiple strategies we have listed here. This is just typical or common. So first, under carrier managed inventory, we've seen that the industry uses two basic types of strategies. One is keep full, and the other is average tank volume. The keep full strategy is all about ensuring sites remain wet. It's really great for handling multiple locations or regions, especially when companies are outsourcing that inventory management and internally they have really lean resources. So the main advantage here is simplicity, easy to implement, it's kind of hands off, but however, it comes with higher costs and really higher working capital requirements as more deliveries and drops are needed to ensure constant fuel availability. Next is the average tank volume strategy, and this could be in terms of gallons or days of supply, but this approach balances maintaining fuel supply with reducing the number of days on hand or days of supply, making it ideal for slower moving products such as premium fuel or diesel and places that have varying demand profiles. So while it's also easy to implement and can be tailored to specific markets or products, it can be more challenging to manage. The downsides include higher working capital because it's harder to manage, and really with the potential for runouts as demand can change and spike. Or there could be other things like weather impacting it, or other events, local events like sports. Moving to the bottom side where we have company managed strategies, we typically see either a reorder point or a demand driven approach. And so the reorder point strategy focuses on minimizing days of supply and managing various products across different regions. It's easy to manage because it's a specific point, and it doesn't require significant technology investment. But without really that efficient execution, it can result in higher working capital as well and freight costs, with also the potential for runouts. So finally, we have this demand-driven strategy, which is the most sophisticated, but it's also the most optimal. It uses software to match inventory with real-time demand, optimizing costs, working capital, and freight. So this strategy is ideal when you want to minimize transportation costs, you want to lower working capital. However, it does require some advanced technology and really a more complex implementation process than all the other strategies we just covered.
That's great points there, Nick. So let's take a look now at the different operating models in fuel management, across fuel management, right? So companies that manage their own inventory typically operate with three different models. They either use an internal fleet or external carriers, or they could use a mixture of the two. And for companies that utilize haulers and carriers, those carriers will use their own internal fleets or even sometimes use other carriers in parallel. The resources, information, and data to manage between these different operating models is vast and requires knowledgeable team members, technology, and processes to allow companies to actually achieve their goals. First, let's look at company managed operations. This model provides a high level of control for your inventory, but it faces challenges in managing schedules, adjusting to real-time changes, and collecting and analyzing data for billing and even future fuel optimization objectives. For haulers and carriers, managing inventory and or delivering fuel, this can help reduce the overhead, capital expense, and even the risk for their clients. It introduces its own set of challenges as you operate your business and the client operates theirs. Carriers need to balance executing client parameters across multiple locations and even multiple clients with different needs. Additionally, the coordination between companies and the systems can lead to complexities in collecting and sending accurate real-time data, which again is needed for clients to help them process billing, and also to further optimize their operations.
And so we're going to jump into how Titan Cloud fits into this. So this is where Titan Cloud can help, and we're going to start with forecasting and inventory management. We tackle strategic challenges by giving you key capabilities that can be deployed at the operational level. So our 30-minute updates from inventory allow dispatchers and logistics teams to constantly monitor fuel levels at the site. And with this near real-time polling, teams no longer have to rely on delayed data, and which ensures that loads are directed to the right location before those fuel levels hit critical points such as runouts. Next, our 7-day demand planning leverages historical consumption or sales rate, allowing us to predict with accuracy when and where fuel is needed. So this level of forecasting enables better carrier and driver planning, and it really reduces unnecessary deliveries while ensuring that optimal timing. Additionally, the system automatically creates loads based on this prediction and prioritizes them based on the need. And it aligns dispatching times with really that optimal window between retate and run out. We can automate it, which removes a lot of manual errors, ensuring that the drivers or carriers are dispatching in at the right time to the right locations with the right amount of fuel. That process also balances fleet resources, ensuring that trucks aren't sent to underutilized sites. And we're trying to, again, reduce fuel or freight costs and maximize that driver productivity. So by integrating these capabilities, real-time monitoring, advanced demand planning, and automated load creation, companies can overcome the challenges of relying too much on of their decision-making without the right data. They can achieve greater efficiency, minimize runouts, and optimize resource allocation.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. I mean, if you think about it, we kind of talked about in the earlier slides the many industries that we actually service and provide our solutions to, and we also provide the solution on a global scale, right? So we have a lot of different ways of actually collecting data and capturing it. So let's dive into a little bit about how we actually do this. So if you think about our supply and logistics solutions, it's really designed to be ATG and polling agnostic, meaning that we can seamlessly use and leverage the data that you're getting from other polling devices into the platform to provide our forecasting. We also offer the flexibility if your teams don't have the ability to have automated resources. We can take manual entry of readings to help kind of feed those kind of a single port of truth for the data that you're getting from those manual entries in one solution. For those that don't have the kind of the Titan polling solution, you can benefit from inventory, or for those that do have the Titan polling solution, you really can benefit for polling frequencies of 30 minutes and less to give you kind of critical information for the locations and issues where there might be seeing intraday demand variability. We take these frequent inventory readings and apply advanced AI forecasting to generate these accurate predictions. We also embed within the solution the capability of managed demand at both the site and the product level, ensuring that you're prepared for events that may not appear in the data, such as maybe the hurricane event that's out in the Gulf right now. and maybe even other events that could be occurring. Additionally, our system provides configurable parameters, including safety stock, trailer sizes, and helping you to optimize when and where fuel is delivered and when it's needed. With this data, the system automatically generates orders for each site and each tank, prioritizing them through a needs-based engine. This automation helps reduce inefficiencies such as over-delivering, rush ordering, overfilling tanks, or incurring costly penalties that you may see across your operations. Ultimately, this approach drives the company closer to its strategic goals, improving cost control, reducing operational risk, and enhancing your overall supply chain efficiency. And by leveraging our solution, you'll not just be gaining real-time insights to your data and your operations, you'll be ensuring your logistics aligns perfectly with your real-world demand, and all the while minimizing waste and optimizing your overall resources.
Exactly. So once we've established these auto-generated orders for fuel, it's now time to act on them. And this really requires managing the complexities of your fleets and carriers while seamlessly integrating with other areas of the business, such as fuel supply and accounting, as we talked about before. So efficiently executing these fuel orders really depends on the ability to streamline operations across these multiple teams. So to make this possible, we offer, again, several key capabilities. First, we provide transport, short truck, and carrier management all in one place, allowing for a centralized control over the entire logistics process, no matter how you operate. Next, we automate the scheduling of loads, drivers, and trailers, reducing manual intervention and improving that efficiency. We also support bulk planning and change management, enabling businesses to adapt quickly to shifting demands or disruptions. And importantly, our platform consolidates supply, logistics, and accounting into that single system. So this integration ensures that everyone's on the same page, from procurement teams managing the fuel purchases to dispatching, coordinating the deliveries, and the finance or billing teams processing those invoices. And bringing all of these functions together, we're able to reduce errors, improve that coordination, and ensure that fuel gets delivered at the right place, at the right time, with the right amount of fuel, with the right resources. So this holistic approach is really designed to optimize operations, reduce those costs, and support your business in reaching those strategic goals. And so, just as Brent explained how the forecasting and inventory management works, let's dive into how our dispatching and logistics works. So we have this centralized dispatching module designed to provide dispatchers with everything they need to make the best scheduling decisions. Each order is attached with terminal, supplier, load codes, and all the necessary product information. And so once that load is scheduled, it's sent directly to drivers via our driver app. The app serves as a central location where drivers can view their schedules, see detailed load information, and stay organized throughout the day. And because the app is connected directly to our platform and it uses geolocation, dispatchers can even see, and customers actually, can see real-time updates on the status of those loads. Additionally, the app tracks all the data needed to reconcile your BOLs, which improves your invoicing accuracy and efficiency. We have some layered capabilities within this module. First, starting with mass dispatch, which allows you to update schedules for drivers and carriers in bulk, significantly cutting down time spent on administrative tasks of going one by one for each load if something happens and they need to change. Mass dispatch, coupled with load optimization, allows dispatchers to focus on applying their knowledge to the nuances of each load and location, rather than trying to manually schedule each of the individual loads for each of the shifts. Additionally, the driver app that we talked about before ensures that drivers have all the information they need to complete their loads efficiently, from load codes to schedules, which all minimizes confusion or delays. The app gives load tracking, again, and geolocation provide that real-time visibility to both dispatchers and customers. And also by leveraging the tools of load optimization in parallel with route optimization, we can maximize how many loads a truck and driver can handle in a shift. So load optimization, again, ensures that driver schedules are packed efficiently and reducing that idle time or empty runs, while route optimization takes multi-stop deliveries, such as in short trucks or bobtails, and calculates the most efficient routes, factoring in road restrictions and hazmat regulations, all again minimizing unnecessary miles. And lastly, by integrating Best Buy and optimizing the fuel procurement process, the system ensures that loads are pulled from the lowest cost supply points.
That's a great point, Nick. And lastly, our system is both broad and deep in this functionality. It's designed for companies that utilize fuel, whether you're transporting it, selling it, or storing it. We really understand that not every company has the resources or the strategy to haul their own fuel or to manage every load that they need to send to their haulers. That's where our multiple carrier dispatching capabilities come into play, where we're ensuring flexibility and control at any level of your organization and operations. If you think about for companies that need direct dispatching capabilities, we have a module called Carrier Lite that really offers a centralized dispatching for to your haulers and carriers. Dispatchers can communicate in real time with your haulers and receive updates on progress of each load that's being delivered. So this really works to improve the overall visibility, along with keeping mass dispatch optionality available, which mass dispatch is really around allowing bulk changes to be made without having to make adjustments by individual loads, which is really kind of helping your team save time and reducing the overall complexity on managing your dispatch functionality. We also have Best Buy, which is integrated into the solution, where you can ensure that you're taking advantage of the best fuel pricing at every available opportunity. All of this helps to increase carrier performance and reduce freight costs by optimizing dispatching and fuel purchasing decisions across your operation. For companies ready to take on a more automated approach and don't have resources to directly dispatch the carriers, we have really a fully carrier managed capabilities, which allow you to move beyond traditional inventory strategies such as your keep full or your reorder points. And orders can be automatically generated and assigned to the carriers based on that real-time data that we've been talking about through our forecasting tools. This ensures efficiency, efficient fuel deliveries while keeping the flexibility to manually adjust as needed. Plus, the Best Buy functionality we talked about earlier remains integrated into this solution as well, allowing you to choose optimal pricing even within this automated process. By automating this inventory management process, you can reduce working capital by minimizing excess inventory and eliminating unnecessary deliveries that might be occurring across your network. This in turn really helps you optimize your cash flow and reduce waste that might be occurring. Really, even if your carriers are already using their own systems for forecasting and order generation, our platform really seamlessly integrates with those different hauler systems via APIs to bring in the orders that those haulers or carriers are generating directly into Titan Cloud's platform. This allows you to leverage our other platform capabilities, such as supply management and exception handling, which we're going to be diving into that functionality in the next webinar that's coming up in the next number of weeks. By having a centralized system that connects carriers, dispatchers, and suppliers, you can minimize cross or wrong drops by ensuring accuracy at every stage of the fuel delivery process.
To summarize, as we've explored, the complexity in managing fuel supply and dispatch operations are really substantial. From the disconnect between the teams of supply and logistics, to really the challenges of inventory management, and to managing a complex network of both your own fleet and or carriers. It's clear that the current state often leads to a lot of inefficiencies, which can increase those costs. Manual processes, fragmented systems, and a lack of centralized data contribute to inefficient supply chain execution, resulting in higher fuel and freight costs, and really even operational delays. So these challenges are amplified when trying to optimize across multiple regions, different operating models, and demand profiles, only to find that information isn't reaching the execution team quickly enough, again, as you're operating across this complex arena to try and make the best decision. So our solution simplifies this complexity by providing a single connected platform that integrates all your operational data, from supply contracts to AI forecasting and inventory management to a flexible dispatching platform. By doing so, you can reduce that working capital, reduce your fuel supply costs by 25 to 75 basis points, and make better demand planning decisions. Additionally, utilizing our platform offers up to $1 million in annual freight cost savings, all depending on the size of your operations, by giving you really better visibility and ultimately control over dispatching, which in turn improves fleet utilization and carrier performance. With our system, you can avoid those costly penalties and fees associated with any runouts by knowing your remaining allocation and ensuring timely fuel is lifted and dropped. So ultimately, we're giving you the power to reduce system complexity, streamline operations, and drive substantial cost savings, all while using fewer resources. By connecting every aspect of your fuel supply chain network, you can operate more efficiently, improve that profitability, and really stay ahead of the competition. Brent and I want to say thank you for joining us today. Before we go into our Q&A, just a quick reminder that we have that upcoming last part of our series on October 30th, which is a Wednesday, and where we're going to be discussing ultimately, how do you drive that financial accuracy? So it's the BOL and invoice reconciliation.